When you hit 3, someone dies. When you hit 3, someone dies. When you just decide someone it's their time. It's your time, bud. Oh yeah, sorry, I had this on. Whee. Okay, let's just okay, fine. I hit 3, you die now. So yeah, that was my first reaction to the Freyr actually just getting to destroy a hurricane. And I mean, as you saw, that was disgusting. It is insane. And this is going to be a mandatory suit on both teams every game. And yeah, but we're going to just talk about it. I'm going to kind of ramble here a little bit. I've got 3 games that's queued up in the background there. So the first one is one where I kind of just flailed around, just my first game trying it. Didn't really do much practice. The second one is after I've had a little bit of practice figuring out some stuff on it. And then the third one is one where I was just kind of flailing around again, just at the same time while actually kind of knowing some more stuff, but chasing a lot of things, kind of like the Aquila and stuff like that, seeing, you know, a little bit of chase and limit testing, if you will, kind of deal, that kind of thing. And the biggest issues, oh yeah, I do have a couple of combos and things I will show at the end. I'll go over a couple of things that have been kind of learned or just what we know. If I don't actually mention it here, I'll just show them toward the end. And then the main thing is, though, is let's just talk about what this means for YOLO queue, competitive play, and things like that. So the first thing is with the Freyr itself, you just, like I said, you get to hit 3 whenever you choose and kill something. You're going to kill one or multiple things, and then probably die if the team has the right tools to deal with you as soon as that happens. But here's the main thing. It is a 6v6 game. So as far as the 1v1s, I do have some footage here that I did clip out that I'm going to throw in somewhere when I decide to talk about it. I will mention right now, I killed things like the Panaka and everything just to see how anything AI-wise could deal with running for their life pretty much, because there was no chance that you were going to lose effectively. Actually, the funniest thing is the only one is right before that hurricane was the Tricera who killed me, and that's just because it has a sheer amount of health, and I was kind of just running at it. So, but it's kind of funny that the Tricera has kind of the best chance to deal with this thing, and it's not good because you can just use the shield and the actual beam rifle to just destroy a Tricera, no big deal. So, overall, let's quickly talk about the beam shield. Like, the beam shield is disgusting. It does not track well, as you can see probably in the footage behind where I'm talking here, like the background footage. It's just not that good at tracking. But any big target, Stego, Hurricane, Ricera, or any target that sits still like that. You know, Mickey probably isn't that bad of a target either, although if it is moving around a lot, then yeah, it's pretty quick, bad tracking. But any big target, though, you can do crazy damage to it with that. And also, any slow targets. Hell might be one that could fit into that. We have a couple of different things that is going to just be running at you, like other melee suits, right? You hit your Ox 3 and just let the shield go, then swap to melee and start beating whatever was trying to beat you to death. And as long as that shield doesn't break, it will fire the beam. That's the main counterplay to it, is you break the shield, you break the beam. So, but you come up behind something, like in the second game I have here in the background, I did 660,000 damage because I had a Stego and a Hurricane to bully. Mainly the Stego, I used the shield and the beam rifle. The beam rifle has enough shots, you can do enough burst to kind of finish a target off if you really need to, or you can do some nice long-range lock-on and get some pierce action going, kind of like a Serenith single charge type damage situation. The main thing is both the actual shot and the full charge does some decent damage. It is almost comparable to, say, how you could spam with something like a Hurricane, minus kind of the AoE action that it does with the damage over time. But overall, like, the beam rifle is not bad. It definitely is a solid thing that you can use to finish something off. especially comboed with that shield in the right way, you can do crazy damage. So that's the ranged options. So it does have some stuff that it can do, essentially, if you want to say in the downtime of its Ox 3 and the melee craziness. But still, its melee isn't too much to laugh at as far as just normal without the Ox 3 on. Because, too, you can throw the shield at something and it'll chase down the target. Which is crazy that you just can throw that out and it can chase something like a Falcon or Skyraid or anything kind of inside. Makes that a lot easier, especially any inside points like I have Misery on A point, or even A point on, say, something like Vigil. So it's definitely going to have some things that it can do with that shield being thrown out. If it doesn't have any complex shield anyway, might as well just throw it. So if you're doing the range safe play and it does break, just swap it, throw it. At least it's doing something while it's regenning. And that's the thing I don't like, is that it seems to have regened. I haven't fully confirmed and tested that, but I'm pretty sure it regens its complex shield while it's in Saw Blade mode. I kind of think, I mean, yeah, that's one of the things that it could be balanced a little bit that way. And I think that's kind of my problem, is I don't have the answer to what it needs to be reduced. Probably some damage. There is, I mean, just the ability, again, if you've ever played Mash Mac and had the sword on Inferno and just run like a Stellaris down, or anything down, a Panther, an Alley, and just beat it to death. I mean, you know what I'm talking about here. Like, it's crazy. You just get to just go ham on something and kill it. And now this is a melee suit with actual proper melee damage that it can do really good, just berserk mode, run in and just kill something. It's kind of, yeah, if you can take out 2 targets or 1.5, that's insane. Now, let's go ahead and think, what if you had a situation, let's look at some couple of situations. So, if your team is able to focus the enemy Freyr down and they do nothing, that's going to be the question. Well, that means you probably have to have something like the Norn. Technically, an Aquila Claw could catch it, but the chances that you're going to actually pull that off are very slim to none. Then you have the Hell, and then you've got technically the Mickey Box, if that is able to actually catch it, which is also, again, slim to none. So we got the Norn and the Hell is the 2 most consistent ways to actually stun the thing. There is the Hurricane drones as well, I will say that, but as you saw what happened with that Hurricane, as long as you're just kind of pushing it and you catch it off guard or whatever. Now, let's say, best case scenario, it already has a couple set up and it's hovering around them. Well, if you haven't pushed 3 yet, then you just kill them at range. And again, that shield, if there's a Hurricane flying up in the air, it can track that very easily. You're doing a ton of damage. That Hurricane dies. So that doesn't really matter if it's got its drones up. Now, if you're kind of pressed, you pull back a little bit, there's, some deterrent, at least, in that sense. But once there's an opening, the Hurricane's dead. So those don't really count either. So now you're stuck with a Hell and the Norn. Now, Meatball comp around, like, Hell, that probably could work pretty well. I think there's something there, especially with, like, a Tricera. Some kind of combo around that. Hurricane, Tricera, Hell kind of thing. Typical Meatball comp stuff. Could deal with the Freyr. And you probably have a Freyr of your own as well that can also stand by for anything coming in. And then it just kind of goes ballistic on whatever gets close and doesn't care, because then it can just literally boost back once and be back into safety. And again, its beam rifle is nothing to laugh at, and kind of same with its shield beam. You can actually get some decent damage out if something is caught by, like, a Hell Mine and you're not ready to just go ahead and beat it to death with your sword. The Norn is going to be your other option with the stun from the Ox 2 arrow. This is pretty much going to be the biggest thing, I think. It depends on how much the Falcons stay around. If there's still a ton of Falcons at play, then Norn's going to have a hard time actually being able to be useful to deal with a Freyr. also with the shield and stuff, and just being able to catch a Norn. If you actually get on the Norn, then they're not going to be able to do much. Also, if they haven't hit their Ox 3 yet, and you use the stun arrow, well then that's kind of a wasted stun arrow, because they break all immobilizations when they use it, but they're not immune to all immobilizations. So they can't be parried. They can't be like, say, flashbang by a Welkin, but they still can be like FCS disrupted and a few things like that, which does help a little bit. It's not going to be the best thing ever, but it will help in some regard. Like I said, Welkin should be able to keep it at bay. That's been one of the big mentions. I do agree with that, and the FCS disruption is nice, but the shield, you're definitely going to be able to jump in front of a Freyr and be like, hey, get behind me, Mr. President, hopefully for your teammates. That's going to be the big thing, is timing that and probably doing a toggle and then toggle on and off. Or, worst case scenario, burn Ox 3 for Ox 3. Now, the only problem I have with that is, again, this is a 6v6 game, at which point the Welkin's probably going to get followed up on and killed during that. So, you know, Aquila Claw comes in when you put up your shield. It's been up for a little bit, and then now you're just SOL without any defense. So, we do have a problem in the sense that Freyr is going to be in every game, and it would be crazy not to bring it in every game. What I'm afraid of is on the casual end, like for instance the Norn, I had a game where I could have dealt over 1 million damage. I ended up around 600, 700,000 by the end of it, on release, before they buffed it, and then before they nerfed it. It didn't really need a buff. I'm just saying, if they would have just nerfed the stun time and left it as it was on release, would have been fine. It's definitely would have been a more skill cap suit, but that was the buff. It kind of got rid of any skill cap it had, which, yeah, I have some complaints about that, but it is what it is. Overall, this is going to be one of the things where I think the Freyr is going to have some complaints from more of the casual side, and I'm afraid we're going to see a buff to the Freyr somehow. Now, we might get some nerfs in the sense like they did with the Mickey, with some of its damage numbers. They also done nerfs with melee before, so that's very consistent that they'll probably nerf the melee in some regard, because a lot of people don't deal with melee too well. So what we might see is nerf to the melee and a buff to the shield somehow. Maybe they give it crazy tracking, or they buff something with the beam rifle, which I think it doesn't really need either. Even with the nerfs to the sword, if they do any damage nerfs, like if they take 2,000 off of the attack 2 and attack 3, I still think it's still got too much damage for that. I mean, you saw how fast the Hurricane died. That's not going to really change much. That might be one more swing, if anything. And if they somehow buff some of the shield damage, then I am scared for that as well, because that shield does not need to be buffed at all. If that becomes a crazy weapon, then, I mean, it's full, like, Doomslayer status shield kind of stuff we're going to start seeing. So that is going to be terrifying if they do any kind of buffs to it. And that's what I'm most afraid of, is they'll probably nerf some of the damage numbers. We'll see if they nerf some of its survivability, because its stats do look pretty nice overall on paper. And then the next thing is, so it can get in. If it gets out, you know, it has 20-second window. During the beginning of a game, like, you can suicide or whatever to get a faster cooldown. As long as you trade 1 for 1, that's probably worth, as long as it's a good target. And if you get 2, bonus. And then, yeah, die, reset the cooldown a lot faster. That's going to be a big tactic that you're going to see Freyrs actually be able to use. Other than that, yeah, I just, as Aquila, looking at it from an Aquila perspective, I'm just going to shoot it and hopefully kill it fast. I'll have to manually aim it probably a lot, so that's going to be frustrating to try to deal with. But we'll see how it feels to multi-lock and try to shoot one. Other than that, the yeah, I'm just curious to see how people can deal with it as a team. But I'm not hopeful that it's not gonna. There's probably very few and far between situations in a competitive game where it's going to be 0 for 1 trade. Like its scoreboard will probably rarely be 0 for 1, and it'll probably go 1 for 1 almost always. So that's kind of the terrifying thing with it. There are some pain points for it to try to track down some enemies, so certain things will be safe. Again, having the ability to just pop Ox 3 and chase anything down, though, is really terrifying in the sense of, for Aquila, I just don't get to do anything. Once it hits Ox 3, I can't claw it to stop it, because I won't be able to target it as long as they're playing right. And then my only option is to shoot at it and pray and run for my life. At which point, it's probably going to be able to outrun me and chase me. I already know it can outrun me, but it's just going to chase me down. And if anything else, and I already get, chased enough as an Aquila, anything else is just going to finish me off super quick. So I'm not looking forward to that. Maybe, just maybe, I won't have to worry about it too much. Or if I'm already the sacrificial lamb to a lot of things for like capping on Cape Blanc, maybe I'm the sacrificial lamb that stops the Freyr from doing more damage, and then hopefully the team can clean it up, kind of thing. Because then it's up in the air, everybody can fire at it, type deal. But yeah, we'll see. Kind of to answer the thing as far as the shield thing, I went ahead and just brought it up too. Just doing this in the background. I guess I could show it, but just kind of talk about it as well. Yeah, I can actively be doing combos and stuff, and I can just throw the shield out, and it's just kind of out there doing whatever. So, and the actual heal from the complex shield is just charging up, so I can just switch back. So there's no reason to not be throwing the shield every time. So you throw the shield, complex shield, throw the shield, complex shield, and kind of combo it back and forth with that. But just wanted to clarify that real quick. Other than that, though, let's go ahead and look at some of the AI things where I just was following around, really. Like, you'll see that especially in the Stego one. I'm going to go ahead and 2x the speed so that it goes a little bit quicker. Let's throw on the Doom music and enjoy some slaughter of stuff, or get terrified, whichever one you want. And then I'll show some extra stuff right after that as far as some thoughts on the combos and things. Mainly, the one that I didn't try last night is the literally just left-right click combo. The fact that it holds stun, I think is pretty cool, and I'll talk about that here in a second. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and just show some of the stuff off here. Obviously, again, the range on that and just the damage that the shield can do is kind of crazy. So it broke. So, you know, I can just literally, I mean, we've already seen this, but the one I wanted to show off is that. So that actually stuns, and then you can like actually keep the shield going if you want. But the actual 1 to 2 combo, so here we go, we'll do it again. 1, boom. And that holds something in place. Now that I really kind of like. That left click into right click is kind of cool. I actually really like how that combo works because that also is a double-edged sword. It holds you in place as well. So it's going to be really cool to see, like, you know, at that point I could react to, as an Aquila, I could probably claw it while it's doing that to somebody. But it literally gets to hold them there for that time. And that also, you know, you get a pick on somebody, you catch somebody, you can go ahead and utilize the Freyr doing that to actually follow up. Now that, I hope they keep that kind of combo in, because that, again, that's definitely one of those things that it does help the enemy be able to target you better, and it also holds somebody in place for your team to target. So you definitely need to know when to do that. As far as the, let's see if I can get, whoops, wrong one. I didn't do that right. Why do I keep 2? Boom. Oh, whoops. Yeah, don't do the downswing for it. But it does kind of hold over too. So if you come up on somebody, you might be able to do that. Whoops, I missed the downswing into that. So see if I can. Let's go ahead and swap it off. I'll try to do it just normally here. So you could probably do that. Yeah, and then you could do that kind of combo where you downswing into it. You swing once. You could even swing and then do it that way. So there's that one. And then this isn't even using the melee mechanics that we already have, where you can do like this. And then, nope, I haven't practiced it in a minute, but like the 180 thing. There we go. I kind of did it, sort of. But, yeah. And hit them on the other side. That's going to take some practice. But, yeah, you not even accounting for the actual melee mechanics that you need to learn playing melee suits and stuff with downswing and getting the actual angles so that you actually hit, you know, your soft locks and stuff like that. So. And the amount of energy you get is just insane. But yeah, that's kind of the main thing. And this actually blocks stuff. That's the one I did want to show off real quick, is just how effective that is. Let me go ahead and, yeah, I'll turn it on without the Ox 3 on. Okay, come on. The Hurricane starts shooting me. So, it technically does block range. The only thing is it depends on the beams. But when, you know, it actually gets the block, you know, you have 3 people shooting at you, it's probably blocking some of their shots in one angle at a time. So you actually can get some major defense with that as well. So that one's something not to discount. And again, as long as your shield doesn't break, you get to really get in there. And, oh, I guess I released it. Oh, I got hit. No. I lost my complex shield. Well, oh well. Anyway, there we go. That's that. Oops. It's going to be a menace. I can't wait to play it a little bit, but at the same time, it needs to be nerfed. But it, you know, kind of Mickey things early on. Sure. We'll see if it actually balances out, though, or if this thing's just going to be an actual menace all season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Do you think it's going to be a menace? Do you think it's going to be OP? Like, are they actually going to balance it? Are we taking bets at this point? But, yeah. Right now, overtuned, overpowered. It's definitely not fun to play Hurricane into this and Mickey on the enemy team. If both of those are on the enemy team, I don't want to be playing Hurricane. Not gonna lie. Because then you either get grabbed and abducted, and then just, it's not fun. or you're just dead because the Mickey took you to an alleyway where this thing's standing, and then you're dead. So we'll see what happens. I'm probably going to be playing Aquila. I might try to get some Norn in there, because if Falcon starts disappearing from matches, and then we don't have to worry about a Falcon as a Norn, then Norn gets to be more fun, and Norn can deal with this thing a bit. So yeah. Also, the problem with Hell, I do like to play a lot of Hell. I'll probably be playing Hell early, because I can have some fun with it in that sense. But after you get to a certain point, if the other team is more organized at killing you, then, well, you're just dead, and it's not that good. And if your team doesn't utilize your mines, then, you know, what's the point? So, overall, hopefully, this thing gets balanced soon, because I'm assuming they're going to do the same thing they did with the Mickey and the Norn, and we're going to have like a 2-week to a month balance patch, which, to be honest, was sooner than I expected. So they need to keep the balance patches coming a little faster, I think. At least once a month is the main thing I want to see them shoot for. But anyway, again, let me know in the comments your thoughts. What do you think about this? Are you excited? Are you terrified? Is this thing going to make you quit the game? Whatever thoughts you have, let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. I'll be streaming definitely the day of, and I'll be streaming after this video goes up. Either the normal mecha break or probably some more of this. If not, some Deadlock, High Guard, or I thought about maybe trying Apogea. We'll see. But anyway, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Peace!